Hi, I'm Janicia and welcome to my channel. Today is my birthday and I wanted to have beef bacon, egg, cheese on a bagel. So I am making cinnamon swirl bagel. I like this bagel, but I felt like maybe I should have just did plain bagels. But instead of bacon, today I'm going to do steak instead. I used to live in New York City and I miss having a good breakfast sandwich. I used to go to work and before I went to work I used to order a sandwich, either sometimes bagel with cream cheese or egg and cheese on a bagel or a roll, and that's something that I miss having. I'm measuring my bagels because I have children and I wanted all the bagels to be around the same size. I didn't want someone to say, oh, this one has a bigger bagel than mine, my bagels are small. So I just wanted to do something a little bit more consistent. Instead of using flour, I am using the cinnamon and sugar to dust the bagel dough with. So now I'm going to move on to making my birthday cake. I'm going to make a lemon birthday cake, and these are lemons from my backyard. My lemon tree, the lemons are not exactly super yellow yet, but I'm still going to use them anyway. In the meantime, I'm going to let the bagels sit and puff up, and then I'm going to boil them in water. So I'm just getting some of my dry ingredients ready, which is flour, baking soda, baking powder actually, and salt. And I'm going to measure out my parchment paper to put inside of my cake pans. And I'm going to grease my pans so that I'll have them ready, because a lot of times you don't do it before. You start mixing everything and then you're like, oh man, I didn't do it. That's happened to me before. So I just think it's just easier to just prep all this stuff earlier in the beginning, and then you know that it's always ready. I'm not exactly a cake person, so this cake is really for my children, and I'm just gonna cut piece just for the celebration and eat it. But cake is not something that I eat all of the time. So I am zesting my lemons. I used to have a zester, but it disappeared. I think that my toddler started in the drawer and it was like, this is not a good enough toy. Let's just throw it in the trash, and it might be in the landfill somewhere. So I'm just using my regular grater, which works just as fine. It's just that the zester was just a zester. So I am boiling my bagels right now. I am boiling them in, I'm using molasses this time, but you can use sugar. So I didn't really measure out my molasses, but it's about 2 tablespoons of sugar. And you let them boil for about 2 minutes on each side, and you bake them at 425 for 28 minutes. So I'm moving on to making my cake, and I'm just putting all my eggs inside of my mixer, and I'm just going to mix those for a while, for about maybe 1 minute. And then afterwards I'm going to add my sugar, and I am going to mix that for a while. About 5 minutes or so, 5 to 7, 8 minutes. And now I'm making buttermilk, which is crazy because you could just buy buttermilk at the store, but I didn't have any. I don't really use buttermilk on a regular, so I just take my milk and boil it with butter, heat it up with butter, and that's buttermilk, right? I think that's how it works. So so you need to use lemon zest and also the lemon juice. So my bagels are finished, they're complete, and now I can go ahead and start making my sandwich. But before I do that, I also have to finish making my cake. So I'm basically multitasking here. And that's something that I do a lot in the kitchen. A lot of us know if sometimes we have to make multiple dishes at once or multiple things at once. And while I was making my cake, for some reason, I started feeling really low. I was so excited because it's my birthday. And I was just like, I'm 1 year older. I'm going to go out later. I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to do all these things. And I looked at the time and I'm like, I don't have enough time to do all these things. I don't know why, but I wait until the last minute to kind of prepare for my birthday. And I know for some people it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to get dressed up because I'm mostly, doing home things and baking and cooking and homeschooling my children and out in the garden. And for some reason, like, I just really wanted to dress up and go out. And my husband was like, we're still going out. But I don't know, I just started feeling like a little bit low. So I don't know. And I think that I started feeling low because initially my husband was supposed to work from home and he was going to be at home, but then he got called to go into the office to handle some things. And I think that it made me feel like, okay, well, the plans are ruined, which it wasn't. But for some reason, I think I just kind of felt that way. So I'm just making the sandwiches. I could have did the steak better, and I think I still prefer bacon, beef bacon, that is. But hey, still looks good. Still is delicious. So I'm attempting to make a dress for tonight, and I started. I cut everything out, which I should have did like 2 days before, but I didn't have time. The fabric is really beautiful, and I started sewing it, and I realized that I don't think I have enough time for this. I'm probably gonna have to wear something else. And then I started feeling like I should just not go out because I wanted to get my nails done, and I just didn't get a chance to do all of these things. And for some reason, I was letting that ruin my mood. So yeah, this is the part of the dress, and in a future video I will finish it and show you guys what it looks like. So I have to go back to making my cake, and this is for the frosting of my cake. And the frosting is a little bit different. It's not American buttercream, which I'm used to making, and it's really great, but it's just too sweet for me. I'm getting older. I just can't do the sweet anymore. So my first batch of frosting had messed up and I had to redo it over, and that's okay. It's whatever. But it's basically just, it's you making a roux, basically, and it's flour, sugar, and milk, and you're going to boil that down, let it become thick, and then you're going to put it to cool for a little while, and then you mix it together with butter, and basically make like a frosting like that. So it's not as stiff as like American buttercream, but it still works out for this cake because I wanted my cake to be like a rustic, more naked like cake. Not exactly naked, but rustic, a rustic cake. So I'm just taking off the frosting because I don't want all that frosting on my cake. This is what happens when you get older, right? You're like, listen, I enjoy having not so sweet things anymore. So these are some calendula that I tried. Well, I put them in the book to be pressed for a while, and I'm just decorating my cake with them. I just thought it would be the perfect color for a lemon cake. I could have done lemon, but I didn't want to do lemon. I think that the flowers are prettier, and I like flowers. So, and I also have some marigolds that were outside. I'm so happy that we haven't had a frost yet, so I actually have fresh flowers still outside that I can use on my cake. I think my cake looks really pretty. I really enjoyed decorating it. It came out better than I thought. I didn't really have like an exact plan, but I knew I wanted flowers on my cake. And then I'm just adding some lemon balm to, have that lemony flavor. So I bought a new mug for my birthday. I know it's a simple things, but I really love tea, and I thought that tea would bring up my mood because I wasn't feeling like going out anymore. But I actually went out anyway. So we went to this Thai restaurant here in Atlanta, and I just went out just on a date with just my husband and I, and it was actually really nice. I enjoyed the food, and this is one of my favorite restaurants. I love Thai food, by the way. It's so good. It's so delicious. It has all the right spices and everything that I like in it. And so it was just a wonderful experience. My husband is always, every time we go out, he says, "Oh, I'm gonna order something else different from you," but then he always ends up liking my dish a lot more. He's like, "I always like your dishes more. It just always tastes so good." So I don't mind sharing because it's a lot of food. I'm not gonna eat all this food by myself. I normally would take a bag to go. So it was a really nice experience. I had a great time. And now we're gonna head home to cut cake with the children. So this is my age, y'all. I am 38 years old. 38 years old, like me. Oh my goodness. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.
For deleting them, you have to add that.